billion entity with a lot of control, and they partner up with the NFL, which is another billion-dollar entity with a lot of control as well. So, do we think we're going to see any changes anytime soon? Guys, don't hold your breath. That's just my opinion. All right, let's move on, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about the New Orleans Saints before we wrap up the show within 13 minutes. Rim, welcome back, man. And let's just talk about this. All right, Saints are going to be hosting the Texans. We know about J.J. Watt. We know about Merciless. We know about Clowney. We know about what's happening with the quarterback battle and all this other stuff. How about just beating down some Texans? let's just have a good time, knowing that this is probably the last time we're going to see Drew Brees in preseason with the Saints this season, because I don't think he's going to play for the Baltimore game. Could be wrong, but going into this is going to be their dress rehearsal game. What do we need to see out of this team to feel confident going into that first game of the season? What do we need to see?
I want to see the ball move down the field quickly on the first possession and score.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we used to do. That's what I want to see them bring back. I've seen what our defenses have the potential to do, but now we need the offense to go back to their old ways, and that's going quickly and plenty of points early in the game.
Cool. What else? Anybody else?
I'm simply excited to see, one, we all talked about pass rushers, and whether it be Kikaha, Okafor, Muhammad. I'm excited to see those guys, whoever it may be, line up not across, but on the other side of the defensive line with Cam Jordan. We haven't seen Cam Jordan yet. I think that's going to be something to look for. I need a big game out of Cam Jordan. I need to see Cam Jordan still going to be one of the top 5 dominant defensive ends in football. But at the same time, on the other side of the ball, what I'm looking for, we haven't seen Drew, we haven't seen Mark, and we haven't seen the future Hall of Famer and Adrian Peterson. I got to see, especially if Breeze and the offense, the starters play the entire first half, I got to see how that 3-headed monster in the backfield is going to work. Now, I would love for it to work like 2009. I would love for it to work like it did in 2011. I would love for it to work like it did in 2015. And there's a lot of firepower in that backfield. I want to see how Sean Payton is going to make sure for the first time in years, and Kyle, Derek said it all the time, with running the football.
Yeah.
I got to see Sean hand the ball off and be able to be what? Balanced.
Well, and this year you can't have any excuses. You have Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, future Hall of Famer, and this kid Kamara, and Lasco bringing up the rear. So you have talent out there. Oh, I forgot about Cadet. Man, he may not even be with the squad pretty soon. But you have talent there in the backfield for the New Orleans Saints. I'm not too concerned about the Saints offense, guys. Maybe I'm wrong. I still have some question marks about Brandon Coleman from time to time. I still have question marks about Ted Ginn. Can he catch a ball? Is he going to play Fantastic Four and be brick hands? I just need to see the defense just come in and dominate. I think that's what would excite the fans more than anything else, to see the defense have a shutdown performance like they did out in L.A. Can this defense, Barry, Bob, come in and show up and show out for the fans for our first game, preseason game inside the Dome?
Well, they could. I don't know if they will, but again, and you and Bob were discussing it earlier, I think when we look at the quarterbacks that they'll face in this game, there's a good chance that could happen. Tom Savage is no world beater. I actually fear Deshaun Watson more than fear Tom Savage, which, probably ain't saying much because, Deshaun, look, let's not get it twisted. Deshaun Watson, I think, is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I think he will eventually become the Texans starter and will be the future of that franchise at quarterback. But, most all NFL rookies struggle in their first year, and I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to be any different. So, depending on how much the Saints want to show, believe it or not, I think they were actually kind of vanilla in some of the stuff that they ran. They were just running simple blitzes right up the gut. The Chargers just couldn't stop them. I don't know if they'll do anything even that elaborate scheme-wise in this game. I think they'll just come right at them. I don't with the Texas, as Bob alluded to, their offensive line is below standard right now. So I wouldn't doubt it one bit if the Saints defense comes out and looks as good. I don't know if they'll shut them down, but potentially they could. What we could wind up seeing is a defensive slugfest, because as good as we love the Saints offense, that Texans front seven is formidable. And if those guys come to play, depending on, how much Bill O'Brien actually wants to put those guys out there and how much work he plans on giving them, that to me, that's what I want to see as far as matchups or whatever. I want to see Drew Brees, because Drew Brees, the Texans defense has owned Drew Brees. They have. If you go back and look at that game in the 2015 season at Houston, and then in the few times they've actually played the Texans in the third preseason game, they have done well against Brees. Brees has actually kind of struggled against them. So I'm eager to see if Brees gets any kind of extensive playing time. I want to see him. And I'm, not even gonna even speculate that he would do poorly, but I just want to see how he matches up against those guys. It's one of the top defenses in the NFL. It was ranked number 1 last year, and they'd probably arguably, maybe along with the Raiders and a couple of other teams, had the best overall front seven in the entire NFL. I probably could throw Minnesota, the Raiders, a couple other teams in there, Seattle. But, to me, that's the intrigue, or that's the lure of this, or the attraction for this game for me personally, is watching Drew Brees and the Saints offensive line go up against the Texans front seven, because I think those are the two strengths of the team, the Saints offense and the Texans front seven. Those are the two team strengths of both teams, and they're going head to head. So that's I want to see the Saints at least, come out, and win half of those battles. If they don't win at least half of those battles, then maybe you should be somewhat concerned. But it is the Texans, and Kyle, as you alluded to, those guys, even though they've lost a few guys in the secondary, they're still a formidable defense, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the Saints offense, because as good as the Saints offense is, and Bob will attest to this and remember this, there were times last year, I think the Detroit game was the most notable game that I can recall. Maybe the Giants game late was another one, where the Saints offense, as good as it was, would have little periods of ineptitude, or it's almost like they were sleepwalking through it, and just, kind of went missing in action, so to speak, on a few series and a few key situations in a few games. The Detroit game is the one that continues to stand out in my memory for some reason. So, I just want to see consistency. It's all about consistency.
Yeah.
Because, as we've said ad nauseum, and I know, Kyle, you got to wrap up here in a minute, but as we've said ad nauseum, preseason is the preseason. It's not the regular season, and there's always a lot of hype. And you got guys like me talking about the gold standard and all that, but that's just because I write for a living, and that's what I do. I want people to read what I write. So, but that said, the Saints have looked good. They have. They could have won the Cleveland game. They did win the LA game, and they'll have a chance to win this game. I'm confident they'll be in this game and have a chance to win this game. And look, they might finish the preseason 3-1, and the hype will be laid on as thick as a. I don't know what analogy I can use off the top of my head, but again, you have to ground. We need to ground ourselves in reality, and do a reality check and say, look, it's just a preseason, and as excited and as hopeful as we are, let's also be realistic and remember the team we've seen the last 3 seasons, because we've been hyped up in the preseason before, only to be very disappointed in the regular season. So let's just see if they can remain consistent, do what they've done in the last 2 weeks on both sides of the ball. If they do that, you might see my prediction article at the end of August go up a few wins in the winning column. We'll see. So,
okay,
that's what I'm looking for.
All right, good stuff, guys. Appreciate you guys being on. We got some guys on the bubble. We got to watch out for Grayson. Oh man, he's really on that proverbial bubble.
Big time.
Big time. All right, guys. Rim, man, appreciate you being on with us. Brendan, appreciate you as well. Bob, appreciate you, as well as you, Barry. If you guys didn't catch it before, Rim, as well as Brendan and Bob, please be in prayer for Coach Rick Gailey. He is battling pancreatic cancer. Coach is a fighter, so we're just going to keep him in our thoughts and our prayers, check on him, send a little love to him of encouragement. And he wanted to be on with us tonight, but he said, he was just tired. He couldn't do it. So just be with him and keep him lifted up, guys. And if you guys did not know, you can check us out if you have one of the Amazon Echoes or one of those Echo Dots. Just say, Alexa, play Saints News Radio, and it will take you there to Saints News Radio. Yeah, Alexa. See, from TuneIn, you heard her. So you can go ahead and check us out. We are automated, guys. We are home automated with Alexa. So I thank you guys for everything that you guys are doing. Also, we will have a new website launched this coming year called SaintsPodcast.com. It's going to give all of the latest podcasts from the New Orleans Saints, Saints News Radio, as well as some of the other guys out there in the Who Dat Nation. So we're going to give a little love to everybody who has a podcast, but you can go to one place to be able to hear it all at SaintsPodcast.com. Hey, that's what we do at the Saints News Network. We are one of a kind and breaking the best out there and pioneering the best. All right, any last words, anybody?
Well, I was just going to say, look, this is the third preseason game. Let's see what they got. Let's get out there and let's see what they got. If they look good, I'll feel good about the chances for the 2017 season. If they don't look good, then we might have to reconsider.
Okay, Bob, go ahead.
One quick matchup, and I know we're out of time, so I won't elaborate too much. Keep an eye on DeAndre Hopkins, the Houston receiver. I want to see how Marshawn Lattimore and P.J. Williams holds up against him. He's going to be the best receiver they've faced so far.
Good. Brendan, any last words?
Well, I just want to apologize for having to leave the studio for a little while. I had some work to do, and Kyle doesn't pay me enough to not work. So,
hey, man.
I apologize for that.
Hey, Rim.
When I could.
Look, man, we just glad to hear your voice, professional. And Brendan, any last words?
If you guys get the opportunity, I know it's an awkward time, especially the guys at Central Standard Time. My show debuts its second season. It's going to be at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock